Where is everybody? I thought we had a fan stream. I see a bunch of all right, so I see Delaney popping in here from the war room. So we're doing this remote. Got it. Nobody bothered to tell me. Sam coming from his home office always makes me super jealous because it's a great setup. Evan, here we go. Evan's there. Got all the Optimus that you could ever want in your entire life. Isabella coming from home, wearing the sweet Grimlock shirt. And then, Mark, we have the whole team now with his, awesome creative studio and all the toys we kind of wish we all owned. So what's going on, everybody?
We just wanted to wear shorts. We didn't want to wear pants and come into the office.
Oh, that's so mean.
That's why we're not
me wear pants.
Speak for yourselves. I'm in California, so I wasn't going to be live anyways, guys.
Well, I guess that's fair, but you should just be here. Just hop on a plane, get on that private jet, and come visit us, and it'll be fun.
My private jet was waiting on the jetway for me. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, something like that. All right. Hey, everybody, thanks for joining us for another Pulse fan stream. We have a ton of stuff for you today. We're going to do Studio Series Wave 4, Legacy Wave 3, which we kind of gave you a preview of at San Diego Comic-Con. We have some franchise updates with Isabella. And then, everything we're going to reveal today, with the exception of maybe some core figures, will be available for pre-order after the stream today at 1 p.m. Eastern on Hasbro Pulse. So let me turn it over to Isabella to take us through some franchise updates.
Yeah, thanks, BMAC. Let's get this party rolling. So today, I actually have something a little bit different for us to start off with. It's not anything that I've ever gotten to talk about before, so I'm really excited. So we, the Transformers team here at Hasbro, have teamed up with Royal Mail to bring you some particularly special Transformers stamps. So what's really cool about this is you will have the opportunity to own possibly the only Transformers merchandise ever to have been, get this, personally approved by Her Royal Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Isn't that so cool? So here they are. These are absolutely cool. We've got a main set of 8 stamps, and these are printed in pairs featuring original illustrations. Of course, we've got the Autobots and Decepticons locked in battle, but it's in this beautiful sort of retro G1 style created by artists and Transformers UK collaborators and contributors, Andrew Wildman on pencils, Stephen Baskerville on inks, and John Paul Bove doing these gorgeous G1 comic book inspired colors. So each stamp is printed with this kind of cool hidden ink, which will reveal each character's faction logo and their name written in Cybertronian when it's shown under a UV light. So it's a really cool sort of more than meets the eye Easter egg that you get to play with. But that's not all. In addition to these 8 stamps, we have another mini sheet. 5 more stamps. Look at how beautiful this is, featuring our epic Dinobots, and it's this really cool composite scene, right? So you can see that each of the stamps here are cutouts of this gorgeous scene. We've got obviously all of our favorite Dinobots: Grimlock, Snarl, Slug, Sludge, and Swoop. And we've got a ton of other ways that you can present this. So there's actually something called a presentation pack, which is a double-sided fold-out. Yep, here we go. And it's got both the main stamp set as well as the Dinobot mini sheets, plus some additional content which features really interesting stories told by James Roberts. We also have this gorgeous prestige stamp book, and this is the limited edition version. It is packed with exclusive artwork, some fun facts, and you can even see you've got the Matrix of Leadership, which is this really cool slipcase that it comes with. And another one that I'm actually particularly excited about, just because it's really different and it's super high caliber. Yes, stamp ingots. We've got one of Bumblebee, as you see here, and another one of Optimus Prime. Look how gorgeous these are. So these are metallic replicas of the stamps that come in the set. But the neat thing is, these are super fancy. It's plated in pure silver with color printing overlaid on top of it. And in addition to this, we also have some collector's sheets, framed prints, and other sets. Yeah, let's take a look at some of them right here. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. The artwork is beyond beautiful, and it's so special for anybody who might have grown up reading the comic books with these series, because it is, again, inspired by the 1980s comic book art style. This is one of my favorites. I really want to get my hands on one of these just to like hang it up on the wall behind me. As you can see, my home office is a little bit bare on the walls. I still got to get all my artwork up, so one of these days. But for any true Transformers fan, I think these are going to be an absolute must-have. Now, the stamps are actually available already right now to pre-order, so just go online, royalmail.com/transformers, and they'll go on sale generally on September 1st. So really, really excited for these. If anybody out there is a stamp collector and a Transformers fan, this is the one. It's everything you've ever wanted, all in one incredible bundle. So super excited. Now that we're in sort of a comic book mindset, right? Since these were inspired by the comic books, I want to talk a little bit about what we have coming up from our friends over at IDW. The first one today was also curated by none other than James Roberts himself. This is a must-read for all Transformers fans. It's best of the rarities. So this is super, super cool. Check out that sort of retro stylized artwork on the cover here. This collection includes some of the greatest, but also some of the most hard to find Transformers stories from our series' nearly 40-year history. And it's all pulling from over 1,500 issues. It's a collection that includes actually some never before reprinted materials, both from the US and the UK. It just went on sale, so be sure to go find it wherever you get your comic books. This one is a really neat guy. And speaking of collections, for those of you who might have missed it, or maybe you were actually waiting for this very moment, the Shattered Glass trade paperback is also now available. It collects the first series of this dark reflection of our Transformers universe. So you can get this also wherever comics are available. And the collection of the first series comes out just in time for Shattered Glass 2, issue number 1. This will be going on sale wide August 31st. And in this start to the second wave, Optimus Prime is ever the ruthless tyrant, while Megatron a compassionate peacekeeper. So here, Cybertron sits on the brink of war as both factions are racing to gain control of a Titan that could destroy either side in mere nanocycles. But while everybody has their eyes locked on the Titan, Ultra Magnus, a powerful shadow broker, puts into action a plan that he has been making in kilocycles. So this is going to be really, really cool. Right here, we've got a couple of the beautiful covers to share with you. A cover is by Nick Brokenshire. I apologize if I'm butchering any names. Our B cover is by Red Powell, and our variant is by none other than Marcelo Materre. These are absolutely gorgeous. Collect them all if that's your jam. I know it's mine. And then we have the final issue of Last Bot Standing. It's come to this. Donoct, nay, the universe hangs in the balance. The last true Cybertronian stands against visitors from another world to determine the future. If I may use the very classic and beloved line, one shall stand, one shall fall. Find out who will be the last bot standing. This is also on sale August 31st. We've got some gorgeous artwork for you as well here. Cover A by Nick Roche, B, Kei Zama, cover C, Saren Stone. We've also got a D cover by Ocho Pante, and our incredible RI cover by EJ Su. These are just absolutely stunning, really blowing it out of the water for this last issue of Last Bot Standing. It's a really beautiful series because it has so many qualities that have been consistent across the history of Transformers, especially in comic books, and it's all wrapped up in this one gorgeous and really touching story that goes so deep, way far beyond just robots in disguise. It is I'm going to say the line, but it's more than meets the eye. Really, really looking forward for everybody to get to read and join me in this incredible story. So get hyped. Those are my updates, you guys. It's just a few, but
yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff coming out there. Rumor is maybe I'm going to Europe in October, and I'm going to have to get an extra suitcase to bring back all that Royal Mail stuff. I'm looking forward to that.
Sorry, they are British stamps, but they do ship globally, so you can't even order them from the comfort of your home.
I never would have expected to be genuinely excited for stamps as like part of a collection, but those are so well executed, and I love the aspect of the UV reveal. If we start collabing and all of a sudden we're doing like Transformers hotel soaps, like I'm done with collecting, because I like never could have expected like all the places that we're gonna go, and like telling my younger self like, you just wait. You're going to get stoked about stamps in your 30s. But I am. I'm here, and I'm loving them.
We're going to start doing Transformers branded towels. And then you can steal the
Evan,
towels.
you got room on the
hotel
shelf for the Optimus stamp? Who's going to find a home for it?
I don't know. I'll find wall space somewhere. Yeah. But it's like, looking at those things, they're just so beautiful. It's just like, oh, it's so nice and iconic, and it makes you just, it's the nostalgia of just the 80s comics and seeing those
Mark's
color breaks
gonna have
with
to
like Bumblebee.
Change out his wall art there.
Hey, I'm all about that comics artwork, so maybe we should try to get a capsule program going. How about that?
Mark's favorite word, finishing little mini collections and capsules. So, all right, perfect. Well, thanks, Isabella, for taking us through some franchise updates. Very much looking forward to Shatterglass 2. It's going to be super awesome. The stamps definitely look really good. So I'm going to turn it over to Delaney, and she's going to hang out with Sam and Evan. We're going to do Studio Series. There are live action figures in this that they're going to reveal. So, you know, for all of our Bayverse fans, you actually get some reveal on a fan stream. It's not just 100% about Legacy, the last couple of ones. So Delaney, why don't you take it away?
Awesome. All right. Thanks, BMAC. All right, guys. Are you ready to do this? I'm just going to pretend like I can see you nodding your head. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Evan. Yeah.
I don't have a choice.
I mean, Sam, you have no choice. We're going to reveal it now. And I hope you're just as excited as I am, because we're going right into it with our deluxe class figures. First with Transformer The Last Night Autobot Hot Rod. All right, Sam, you've got this one with you, right?
I got this guy in hand, and I must say, of all the deluxes that we've been cramming out this year, this is one I am so excited to share. This is Autobot Hot Rod, coming from The Last Night. This is, let's see if we can get him to focus up. There he goes. This guy's beautiful. He's borderline like a mini masterpiece. There's so many elements of Age of Extinction, The Last Night, that as they did the redesigns of these bots, beautiful forms, super great looks and proportions to the robot, but really difficult to translate into a physical transforming bot. But something that I really do love about what they did with Hot Rod is they actually kept some of the vehicle pieces intact, so you do get the front end of that Lamborghini Centenario able to come across in the front. But because of that, he is able to hide this vehicle mode so well. You get the articulated wings in the back. You get such a small, compact back form here. And I think my favorite part is probably as we do the legs here, mid-transformation, boom, you get the spoiler flipped down, you get the reveal of the triple exhaust in the back. And then as we switch over to that vehicle form itself, we go full licensed Lamborghini Centenario 2017. This car, as a vehicle form was just phenomenal when it was revealed. It's a full carbon fiber hull chassis on the vehicle itself. But for the movie, it gets this really nice color accent with the orange to really make it pop from anything else that was really shot from the production line. But again, licensed Lamborghini form, get that spoiler in the upright position. You get the taillights around the back. You have the daytime running lights up here on the front. And again, it's just beautiful, licensed, proportioned vehicle, didn't really sacrifice anything in either mode. So I'm so excited for that guy to get out. Of course, he's got the time gun, the only weapon in Transformers universe that has to be announced every time it's fired, where he goes, "I'll stop the time!" So I'm stoked that we were able to get that. Get a couple little deco ops in there as it's, being fired off, and just overall as an offering. This guy's up there. This might be my top figure of 2022.
Yeah, we're working with Lamborghini too. That partnership to create that iconic vehicle from the movie is just, that transformation is fantastic. The transition just looks so seamless. It's pretty beautiful, if I do say so myself.
Yes.
This was my first time working with Lamborghini, and they were such a phenomenal partner. We'd work with all these great auto manufacturers across Transformers, but I think definitely they're, throughout the process, they were like, well, can we do this? Can we get that rear diffuser in there? Can we, make all these other elements, which, initially were kind of sacrificed because of the transformation, but it kind of made us go back and continuously push and change the form. Working with Tomo over at with Takaro, he was just such a phenomenal design partner on this to really be able to hit home, and ultimately what we ended up delivering is phenomenal representation of the character.
Oh, absolutely. It's always great when design elements of the robot motor in the car mode, and it's like, oh, we don't have to work witchcraft to make this work. Like, it's just like, oh, we can kind of, this is so much easier. Thank God. So,
well, I was going to ask you.
Speaking of witchcraft.
Exactly.
I was going to go right on to the next reveal.
I think that's perfect. That's a perfect transition. We've talked enough about this one. Let's head right over to another Last Night character. So Sam, all you again.
All right. So speaking of witchcraft, that was a beautiful segue into a completely different form by way of Crosshairs. Crosshairs, of course, this is the second film we saw this character depicted in, the first being Age of Extinction. Wasn't a huge change to the character between the two films. We did see some alterations done to the vehicle mode, but ultimately probably one of the biggest challenges we've seen in Studio Series, and just as a character as a whole, being able to hide an entire vehicle form, not only in a bot mode, but also having it be able to translate into a trench coat for the character, which we're actually able to articulate, open up, and really not sacrifice too much in terms of the character. As we do get around here to the back mode, you can see we're able to incorporate the jetpack of the character onto the back, as well as getting some of those fender details to act as the lower parts of his trench coat and jacket. So really cool to see a lot of the CAD work on this character, be able to bring a lot of that life into the portrait, which I don't think we've been able to do in product before. And of course, giving him his dual SMG, rifles to be able to fire away with to really sell home the character. Now, where this guy really gets to shine is definitely going to be in terms of his vehicle form. And this in the form of a licensed C7 Corvette Stingray. It's the same vehicle that was used in Age of Extinction, but they did make some updates to it. Originally, it was clad in more of the Z51 look, but they brought in some elements like over fenders, changing up the spoiler, as well as a few of the rear diffuser details to really try and emulate more of the Z06. And then we see this matte black kind of two-tone paint job that's just brought across the whole vehicle. We get that directly around the back, and as you can see, nothing in terms of the vehicle form had to be sacrificed for the bot. And it's, I think, probably the best representation we've had of the that C7 Corvette, which Corvette itself in live action has just had so much on-screen presence. You had, everything in terms of Sideswipe and having his form kind of be the introduction of what this Corvette would ultimately be. So it's great to sort of see that evolution happen on screen across, the scope of 4 films.
Absolutely. It looks unreal. I'm just most excited about playing out that bowling alley scene, the quest scene. It's, just lining them all up. I think it's the perfect figure to finally finish that out. Evan, what do you think?
I think that highlights a few characters that we still need to do from that bowling alley scene. So, good stuff.
Just a few. There's always room for more, though.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I'm always so impressed, Sam, by your knowledge of cars and all their pieces and everything that goes into them, because it's like, yeah, I think I know some stuff, and then it's like, oh no, I know nothing compared to Sam. So thank God you're on this team. So yeah.
But yeah, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's take a quick departure from live action to our 1986 animated feature. Evan, who do we have here?
Next up, we have Voyager class Ironhide. So obviously, Ironhide and Ratchet were key main characters in the normal G1 Transformers animated television series, and had a prominent 5 minutes in the beginning of the '86 movie. He was one of my favorite characters, and I was incredibly traumatized when he was murdered by Megatron, and so now all of you get to relive my trauma with this figure. So yeah. Voyager Scale. Essentially what we did here is we didn't want him to parts form like the Earthrise figure did. So we had to bump him up in scale to make sure that we could get in all of those panels and everything else, and make sure that it compacts, and just gives him a wonderful representation of his animation design, I think. Worked on this guy with Kunihiro-san, who is an absolute wizard, if we're continuing with the witchcraft here. And it's just like we went back and forth, and one of my favorite things actually about this, since Sam was talking about the Hot Rod, is how the feet transform, which I'm going to pop on over to his alt mode to show you. So he obviously turns into his red cherry van. And as you can see, there's no extra shield, there's no extra nothing here. These are all parts that belong on him and will fold up inside him. He can house his 2 blasters as mufflers on the bottom of his feet. They can also store up here on top, and actually he can also store them on his back when he's in robot mode. So those tabs right there, they can just tab in. But as I was saying, my favorite thing about this is actually how the feet transform. You just pop these back parts out, flip them down, whoop, and split the legs, and then it's just like, oh my God, he's got feet. Like, it's one of those like small little genius things that's like, oh, that's so smooth, that's so much fun, this is great. Yeah, and there's a nice render of it. So.
I mean, this just looks awesome.
Yeah, it's one of those classic car forms that's just like, he's a van, he should be bigger than like our deluxe car bots, but height-wise in the show, he was just like a little bit taller than them, so we stayed to the scale that we established in Earthrise, which is why we did that. But when he goes into van mode, he's so much bigger than any of our deluxe cars. So, as I said, witchcraft and wizardry on this guy. So he's one of my favorite figures that I think I've worked on so far. And I've kept him on my desk like this entire time. Like even when we were doing past streams, it's like, oh, there he is. There's Ironhide. He's watching me do my job. So yeah, it's just one of those things. So
the mufflers too. I mean, making the blasters turn to the mufflers, like that just looks so cool. What a way to repurpose that and really transform it.
Absolutely. Kunihiro-san all the way. That was him, and also these feet were also him that he figured out. And it was just like, oh, how did you do that? That's amazing. It's just little simple things. So yeah.
That's 3, and BMAC mentioned 4 at the top of this. So leader class now, right? I think people might care about this one just a little bit, right?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
The amount of hype that has happened on this figure, where it's just like people have been reaching out since like February, like, let's go. It's like,
well, now I'm terrified that it's not going to live up to the hype, but I certainly hope it does.
I think it might.
Yeah, I'm also going to preface this by saying, make sure you rewatch the movie so that you know why we did what we did with his colors. But okay, so next up is our leader class, the Fallen. So some of you are probably looking at this right now and going like, why is there blue there? And it's like, he actually had a lot of metallic blue on him in the movie. We looked at the ILM CAD, we dissected it, and then we rewatched some of the scenes there. And it was just like, wow, yeah, he has a lot of reflective, shiny blue on like his parts. So yeah, so here he is, the big boy, the big lanky boy himself. So worked on this with Ajima-san. As I said before, we used the CAD from the movie to make him. and reference him. He's very articulated. We made sure to get like his weird appendages that attach to his forearms in here. They can stretch and articulate like with his arm movement, but if they do get in the way at all, they're just on a ball joint, so you can pop them out to get more dynamic posing. He comes with his staff that can break apart into 2 pieces because he has to do it for his transformation mode, which I'll get in a second. But another cool feature, you can take his mask off. Because what did Optimus Prime say? It's like, give me your face.
Give me your face.
Yeah, I think wasn't that the line? When he's like ramming a sword through it. But yeah, so yeah, you can take.
Prime was on like a total spree.
A little bit.
The number of faces that Optimus Prime takes, where it's just like all throughout movie 1, it's just like sword through the face, hook through the face.
No face is safe.
Yeah.
Give me your
wanted
face.
to give us a little bit more action, I guess. But yeah, so alt mode wise, we essentially kind of based his alien jet form off of the old toy, but then we modified it a bit to kind of live more in that universe and look more like some of the weird alien jet forms that we'd seen previously with like the Megatron and things like that. So here, I apologize if this is not coming through as clearly.
No, that looks so good. I mean, that Cybertronian spacecraft, that mode just looks awesome.
It's very Aliens Attack or like, but I believe in year 1 or 2 of Studio Series, we released Optimus Prime and Jetfire that could combine. So I know people have been waiting for this for a long time so that they can finally do their big face off. But yeah, I hope this guy lives up to your guys' expectations. He's a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Came out phenomenal.
Definitely.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, great job, Evan. I mean, those all looked incredible. I feel like we need to bring back. There we go. Bring back the team. Now that the game's
I'm a little jealous I didn't get to work on Studio Series this time. That Corvette looks awesome. The Fallen, when I ever saw the gray model come in for instruction review, I was like, what the hell is this thing? It was incredible. Evan was having a good time playing with it. So, yeah. All right. So we're going to keep this train rolling because we have legacy stuff going on. Right, we're gonna move
before
on.
we do that, B-Mac, before we move over, I know you love Studio Series, and we've got just a few more for you. 2 you've probably already seen, and then 2 you have not.
Right, yeah. So let's rapid fire core figures.
Yeah,
oh God.
let's do it.
Okay. Okay. Who do we? Okay, I think we're starting with Wheelie. Is that right?
Starting with Wheelie.
Yeah, let's start with Wheelie.
Okay.
Let's start with Wheelie.
Okay.
86.
Finally, you can plop a real transforming Wheelie on top of your 86 Studio Series Grimlock. Yeah, worked on this guy with a Sui-san. It turned out phenomenal, I think. So here's the new figure, and actually, here's the G1 figure right next to him. So you can kind of see. We finally got a slingshot in there. I know this guy's already been getting around online and things like that, so some people have already found the nice little nods that Hisui put in there where it's like, you have his vehicle mode, you can pop open the hatch so that you can see his head underneath, which is how the original toy transformed back in the day. But we're rapid firing this, right? So should I already move on?
Yeah.
Like, hey, it's Wheelie, he's awesome.
Yeah. So next one, 86 Ratchet.
Okay, I only have one of these, sadly. So you're gonna have to look at that render and be like, yep, that's an ambulance. Or ambulance. An ambulance. There we go, there's the word.
Words are hard.
They are. But yeah, so we have Ironhide coming in Voyager Scale, and we'll have Ratchet coming in Core Scale. Who knows? I mean, eventually, we're going to redeco these as their opposites at some point. But yeah, so continuing with the Core Scale to go with some of the figures we've been releasing in Kingdom, you can have this Ratchet next to your Core Class Optimus Prime. We're just going to build out more of that line because we think it's a great little scale.
All right.
Hope you guys enjoy.
So we have new stuff now. Possibly my favorite backdrop in all of Studio Series. We have Dark of the Moon, Laserbeak, right? That's the third movie. I can never remember the order they go in.
Yes, Dark of the Moon, Laserbeak, spotting their Bumblebee disguise. Did that Laserbeak have its pronouns revealed at all? I'm just going to say they, them. Okay. So yeah. So here we go. In the bright pink Camaro, we have Laserbeak in disguise. It's a very awesome a very simple transformation, but it is a licensed Camaro, so that was fun. Worked on this with Shusan, and it came out amazing. So yeah.
Perfect. All right, one more.
Awesome. These
I
look
have a
so
feeling
good.
you're going to have to explain a little bit about this one because it's
little
86, but people are going to need a little explanation why he's blue. So, 86 Rumble.
Yes, 86 Rumble sporting his 86 movie deco. Because when he showed up in the show, he was a lot darker blue. And then, of course, there's the whole which one is blue, Frenzy or Rumble. So when you pick up this figure on our box, it will say Rumble, and then it will be like parentheses blue, because we needed to establish that, just to be more confusing, like everybody else. But yes, we're doing a cassette at core scale, which I'm sure some of you are like, oh, is this the new size standard for core scale? No, of course not. This was the way that we could get in Rumble with all of his features and accessories, and he still turns into a cassette that fits inside Blaster and the Soundwave that we previously released. But this also allowed us to make sure that we could give him all the deco that he needed. Before those Battlemaster 2-packs that we did in the past, they shared tools, and they also had to share deco. So each character that came out of that couldn't get all the attention that they needed, and this is a way that we can kind of do that. For size comparison, you can kind of see, here's kind of the difference here in the scale. But essentially, we were able to get his giant pile drivers in there and give him the weapons that we haven't been able to release in a while. I love this figure. Worked on this with Hasui-san. He worked some of his masterpiece magic in here. So yeah, it's just a great figure.
Yeah, that's cool. So
Looks
these will be available with the 4th wave, which technically hits shelf 11/1, but you might be able to find these from some of the fan retailers online for pre-order sooner than later.
Yeah, 8 Studio Series reveals, and I think you can easily tell which ones are our favorites, of course. But we want to hear your favorites too. So why don't you head over to the comments, let us know so we can start reading those live and see which one that you prefer or want to add to your shelf.
Perfect. All right, so we're going to say bye to Delaney for a few minutes. We'll bring her back in at the end with Isabella. We'll recap the whole event, but we're going to transition right into Transformers Legacy, which we revealed all of these for you at San Diego Comic-Con, but only in bot mode. No weapons, no accessories, no alt modes. So we're going to kick it off right away with the one we've definitely got the most questions about since Comic-Con, which is going to be Autobot Point Blank and his Battlemaster Peacemaker. Mark, what do we got?
So here we are, Legacy, Point Blank, and Peacemaker. That is correct. Let me show off the beautiful illustrations on the box first because they do sing. Great job to the packaging team out there. Really happy about getting another Target Master to complete your Target Master collection. Ever since I actually worked on this guy, which was Crosshairs back in the Siege days, I really wanted to finish off the Target Masters. So really hyped about this character. Worked with Hasui-san on Point Blank here. And to include the Target Master, Peacemaker was really essential to us. I think that is just, it makes this character really as strong as possible. And you can also see that his head sculpt is the one that it was featured in the animation in the G1. I think it was Rebirth was the episodes.
Oh, nice.
But
yeah, so we look at the alt mode. You can see that you put Peacemaker on his back there.
Dude, the alt mode, the Cybertronian race car is just bananas here. I mean, this thing is just ridiculous. Come on now. I mean, this thing is built for speed.
Yeah, these colors are great.
Yeah, this color. Yeah, we actually got a really nice molded, like I think it's a 201C or a 200C, which is like almost a little bit brighter than Warpath, but I was actually really hyped about how this translucent cockpit came out, and Hasui-san, of course, loves to have those little details just to pop the cockpit. You cannot fit a Titan Master in there, unfortunately, but I mean it's really cool to just play out the fantasy to have, like, you know, somebody hopping in like a Peacemaker in there, but. Yeah, and you know what? Peacemaker is actually he has some nice energon details on him, and he came out pretty cool. Like, you know,
Perfect.
cost was challenging to fit in a Target Master here, but you know, it was essential. You can't leave out Peacemaker. Come on.
Nah, you can't leave him out. And I know everybody was questioning it when we were at Comic-Con, like why he wasn't in the picture, but purpose was just to reveal the bots. So we wanted to save that reveal for today. So we're gonna move on. Next deluxe, Crankcase. All right, we got bot mode here. Got a fun new little grill feature going on in the hand. What's going on there?
I know. Isn't that wild? So Crankcase, well, you know, I'm going to start off first with the glorious box art because, you know, Crankcase is a character that, you know, he's a trigger con, and you probably would not realize that he's even in the Transformers universe. But ever since Crankcase came out in the movies, and I was like, wait a second now. That Crankcase isn't the cranky Decepticon bot that I know and love. So, you know what? I just thought it was really essential to kind of bring him in here. And what's really wild about this is that it's a partial off of Skids, the Skids mold that we released in Legacy. As you can see, that grill does pop off. That was a very, very key feature to try to like make this Skids into Crank. As you can see, you know, we got some nice details on the spare tire back there, just like the original toy, but has really, really great paint operations on there. Yeah, so you can pop off that grill on the front, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's definitely different from your usual blaster weapons, but this is very cool.
Hidden blaster there.
Yeah, a little hidden
Got
blaster.
some nice sculpts on the inside too, make it really look like a blaster. You can see there in bot mode. Another amazing shot. We definitely have to shout out to Dave White. We have tons more photos for all of these characters. You'll see them on the news sites and the e-com sites when these go live this afternoon. Definitely check those out. Go follow Dave on Instagram. He kills it every time.
And I know everybody wanted the TriggerCon double blaster, so we stick the blasters out, but the blasters are there. He does have his iconic shoulder blasters. We could not leave those out. Some of the pictures I know that we released did not have those in there, but they're in there. They're in there. They're there. So we had to do Crankcase justice.
Perfect. All right. So third deluxe that we revealed. This is the fourth piece for Menasor technically. So this is Dead End. You're going to show us what's going on here with the deluxe itself, and then we're going to take a little look at how it goes on the combiner as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it would be a disservice if I wasn't going to show you how it jumps onto Menasor, right?
Yeah.
So here you have your third Stunticon that is really looking pretty solid. As you already saw his robot mode. I mean, he's got the nice double blasters with the nice energon infused detail, but this alt mode came out pretty phenomenal.
Really like
phenomenal.
How you got the yellow stripe across the top of the roof, and it lined up really nicely.
Yep. The paint applications for this guy really came out phenomenal, as well as the detail. As you can see, he's got some really nice sculptural detail on his headlights there, and a lot of nice sculptural detail on the back. And as you want to see, you got your Menasor arm here. He plops on here, and it unlocks that mechanism. And then he splits apart like so. Kaboom-ski.
Now we got a leg, 2 arms. So we're almost there. Everybody's chomping at the bit for that. But yeah,
we're almost there. Let me pop him on. Let me pop him on. Let me pop him.
He skipped leg day and went to arms day. Apparently, by the way, we decided to release him.
It's genetics. It's got skinny legs.
Big bots do squats.
Big bots do squat. That's great. So, I mean, all you're missing is Mr. Breakdown here. Well, we're going to get there. Don't worry. Don't you worry.
We'll get there. Maybe like PulseCon or something might be where everybody gets to see it. Maybe a little spoiler. I don't know. We'll see what happens in a little bit. All right. One more deluxe. This one looks nothing like the other three. So we got Skelgrin. This thing's awesome. Absolutely in love with this. So you can see here with some weapons, got those blades in his hands, got the blasters on his back, got the horns. I mean, it's awesome.
I mean, the Pretender Sculgrin jumping into the deluxe class here. I mean, this was a serious design challenge. As you know, Pretenders had the shell, the robot inside that transformed into the vehicle. We kind of merged that whole entire gimmick there and made this guy kind of like the old Skelgrin that was released back in the day, but we really stuck to the vehicle mode that was showcased in the vehicle inside of the shell. So as you can see here, he does have the tank treads. It's very, very Cybertronian, but what I love about this vehicle mode is that you have full 360 rotation of the gun turrets. You have dual articulation on both blasters. I mean, you also have the sword blasters that do come off, and they all do fit blast effects as well, which is essential, as you know. And I want to just talk about a little something about this head sculpts, because we went all the way down. So there was a lot of different roads we went to on this head sculpt. We had the lower jaw, took out the lower jaw, but amplified his horns. But then how do you fit this big skull head inside the Cybertronian tank? I'll tell you, Yuki-san performed yet again, as Evan was saying, the wizardry. Yes, the wizard staff came out. There was a couple of grazing moments, and it happened, and it was gorgeous. I was so happy that we could bring a Pretender to Legacy in the deluxe scale. Fantastic.
Yeah, this thing's amazing.
Do we want to talk about the Pretender stuff? Because I know we have a die-hard audience that is all about they want to bring the shells back and things like that. How do you feel about this execution of it? Because it's I love this. This, especially when it's the Decepticons were all monsters, and that plays very well to their robot modes, but you leave the alt mode the same. I think that's beautiful. But I know obviously there will be certain fans that really want the shells to come back. How do you feel about that, Mark?
I'll tell you, man, it was very right when we were I think Lenny was on, we were gonna do Pretenders. I was like, yeah, Pretenders, and then I was like, oh wait, but we can't have them at Voyager scale or leader scale. How do we tackle this insane design? And I'm the one who suggested to merge them to make it happen, and Thank you. I appreciate that. But they're also obviously the purists out there. Please let us know in the comments if you want us to bring back the shells. I hear you. It's tough.
Yeah.
New retro target, right? We'll try to find the original molds or something. That's not, no, probably not.
Wow.
I'm just saying that. But we would definitely sound off in the comments. Tell us what you think. Do you like these? We got a lot of positive feedback about the first one. So definitely let us know about Skelgrin. All right, let's roll into our Voyager class now. So we're gonna go into a beast, right? We got a Predacon Inferno, right?
Finish off.
Oh, look at this big red fire ant, that blaster. Oh, so good.
So Tomo-san and Takara Tomy worked on this guy, did a spectacular job. Actually, shout out to Doug Schulteis. Big shout out to Doug Schulteis. He's on our Beyblade brand, but he helped with the Z sculpt on the fire ant. So a lot of the sculptures and textures he helped out with, and the actual form for this illustration is bananas. And as you know, his head does articulate, so you can start yelling about saving the queen and all kinds of nonsense this guy talks about, which is fantastic.
For the colony.
Paint application. So paint applications for this guy came out phenomenal. As you can see, the metallic really does sing. His head sculpt is as detailed as I could possibly get it. Let's see here. Yeah, there you go. And you have that head articulation with the mouth and you can see the red underneath. Yeah. So also what I want to say is he does come with his little rocket booster, right? But the great part about this little jetpack booster is his thing does spin. You can propel it just like the animation, which is really, really spectacular. I was very, very hyped about that. This does pop off. This does pop off and become his handheld energon-infused blaster because we could not figure out how to cost out the weapon, so we dual-pathed the jet booster into the weapon. And then, as you know, this crazy creature here, this fire ant, which we followed the Kingdom format, and we tried to make this thing as real as possible. Just to note, it seems like he has black eyes here, but we ended up doing a switchgate in production to get the blue eyes. So watch out for that. We had to strip a op off of Armada Starscream, which is going to be coming up next, and to try to get the switchgate for the eyes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm just going ranting and raving here.
We're about to talk about my favorite one of the wave, and you just like steal the thunder. See, that's why you guys didn't want to hang out with me. All right. So, yeah. So we have Armada Starscream. This totally looks brand new to everybody. So yeah, tell us about what you had to change here.
So that double op that's on the sword, the winged sword, that actually is going to be a regular colored sword. It's not going to be energized infused because we figured that the energon infused weapon there was the Star Saber, which we obviously couldn't break up into 3 minicons, but we thought it was essential to bring in with Armada Starscream, and so it'll end up being the color of the gray like this. This is just our early EP1, which is the wrong gray, but that's what I had. So check this thing out, and I'll tell you, this thing is flying right out of the animation.
And it's also our kickoff of like jumping into the 20th anniversary of Transformers Armada. We covered this at Comic-Con. Depending on where in the world you lived, Armada either started at the end of 2022 or didn't air until 2002 and 2003. So celebrating that 20th anniversary. So this is our first foray into that. Maybe a little foreshadowing that Legacy next year is going to have some Armada stuff. PulseCon, what can I say? Maybe you'll find out.
I mean, twin null ray cannons that do fit on the blast effect. Come on now. I mean, we're talking the business here with this Armada Starscream. This thing came out wonderful. Shout out to Otaku-san on this one because he killed it.
All right. One more character that revealed at Comic-Con. This one was done by Sam. A lot of like super hype for it because we actually randomly had a package of it from an EP that we took with us to Comic-Con by accident. So we got to put it out there for everybody to look at. So Transmetal to Dragon Megatron. Let's take a look at it here in bot mode. You get to see now it comes with that fire breath clear accessory, really posable. Let's take a look quick in its beast mode. You can see those wings articulate. We didn't really get to show that off. So Sam, let's talk about it.
Man, talk about all the things I want to talk about. So I guess I'm going to have to start with the box, which I don't normally get to do, but, Mark, you set the precedent with what we're doing for Legacy. So the box itself is phenomenal artwork. Mario and the team absolutely killed it with the render here. I love this illustration on the side. This one goes back a ways in terms of people that have contributed to it. This originally started off as an item with Lenny, who, Lenny's a huge Dragon guy. Lenny loves Beast. He was so amped about doing this character. So there was a lot of pressure in taking it over where it's like, all right, this guy's got to live up to, the trans metal that Lenny would expect. But I am pleased to say I think he does that quite well. So trans metal to Megatron. This guy is massive. He is huge in scale. If it ever focuses, again, he's able to bring in all of that great detail. I actually worked with Tony Colella, who used to be one of our Marvel model shop artists, to really nail in the colors that were going to be kind of appropriate for this, because I kind of wanted a molded Iron Man red for this, and it's not a color that we normally use throughout this. So, being able to get an appropriate red that's really going to allow the gold details to pop on him. And then, as we got into the purples, getting that really nice saturated gradients, which you have all along the neck here, all along the tail on the back. And as we switch over to his beast form, you get those great gradients of gold on the chest, which really help to make some of these details pop. So this was working with Ajima over at Takara, and he absolutely killed it. We have been working a lot more with the digital files lately, and of everything that I've worked on Transformers, which has been Titan Scale, Masterpiece, all sorts of Voyagers and leaders, and nothing has been anywhere close to the actual size of this because of all the texturing we're able to bring into it. Every bit of it is covered in scales and textures. It's phenomenal. We had Emiliano work on the detail drawings for this, so it's great collaboration of so many people involved in this one. As BMAC mentioned, he does have that Flame Club accessory, but where this thing really shines is taking that 5mm port and plugging it into the mouth there. So you have the articulated jaw on the dragon. You can remove that port. Every single piece of this neck is individually ball jointed, so you can get some great range of articulation to that, as well as to the tail itself. As we make our way to the back with the wings, we used Poly Pro while allowing us to maintain all of that detail. But what's really nice is they're still paintable as long as we use a primer op, so we're able to double up on the paint there to actually get some of that onto the wing, so that as it reveals down, it does match a bit more to what we saw in the animation.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
There's a lot to talk about on that guy.
There'll be a lot to see when all the photos get out there this afternoon too. All right, so we're gonna rapid fire core again really quick. First up, another Pretender, right? So we have Bomb Burst here in bot mode. You can see that.
Yep.
And then in its vehicle mode, this little jet.
The Cybertronian jet.
Do you have one, Evan? I wasn't sure if you were able to get a sample.
I do
you have two samples.
Well, yes, I ran in this morning and got another. So yeah, here we have Bomb Burst, or in Japanese, I believe his name was Blood. So yeah, he's like a vampire bat who turns into a Cybertronian jet, which was his Pretender Transformer form. He comes with his axe that he has, and worked on this with Hisui-san, and it was fantastic. Like, I think this is just the absolute perfect mixture of the Pretender shell monster form with the Cybertronian Transformer form. So,
perfect.
Yeah.
All right. And then the other core in this wave is just a package refresh, but if anybody missed this in Kingdom, Soundwave's my favorite, hence the Buzzsaw Shrew. We are repacking this core Soundwave that Mark worked back on in Kingdom. And if you see it here in cassette mode, it comes with that slug cassette. This thing's just fun to convert whenever you get it in your hands. We're super excited that everybody that missed it will have a chance to get it and add it to their core collection.
I certainly hope so, because it's a fantastic figure. We never really show off package refreshes when we do these, so when I saw this on the list, I was like, why? But then it's like, yeah, okay, this is a fantastic core class Soundwave figure. So if you guys missed out on it, I hope you get the chance to get it this time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it actually really did come out pretty sweet. I love that we were able to get that translucent chest with the mini cassette tape. Even if it doesn't transform, it's still cool to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, that's just such a nice little detail. Yeah. I don't know if we could ever get it to transform at that small. Like, if it did, maybe get the wings out, but I don't think we'd ever be able to make it look like
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy is that we had a Laserbeak head that popped out, and that was the only thing, and that had to get cut because it was so small that it wouldn't have worked out in production. But that was the plan, though.
You tried. You tried.
Yeah, this was the Hisui one, right? As well? Yeah, that's right.
I believe so.
That sounds right.
All right. All right, so that does it for today's Pulse fan stream. We did 11 plus 6, 17 items today. Right, that's a big one. I think that might be a record for all of us. Finally got to cover some core class for those of you that really love that scale. So let's go around the room quickly here. Isabella, what was your favorite thing you talked about, or what we talked about? Because you don't have to pick your segment.
Yeah, it's true. In fact, I'm not going to pick my own segment. Although, stamps. That's all I'm going to say. But it's for me, it's going to be a toss-up between Hot Rod. I mean, Studio Series Hot Rod, just because he's a Lambo. That's so cool. And then Dragon Megatron, because a dragon and Megatron. So super, super cool. Also, just I'm still obsessed with the packaging artwork for Legacy. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then, of course, the toy, the plastic itself looks stunning. But before I finish, B-Mike, you look a little different, don't you?
Oh, shirt. You're talking about the shirt. Yeah, I gotta, after this wraps up, gotta run to something with Magic the Gathering, and then some colors here, maybe just for fun. I do love me some Simic. So, Magic the Gathering was my past history, but working on something with that. So more to come, maybe.
Maybe. All right. Well,
maybe.
We will look forward to it. Maybe.
Oh, perfect. All right, so let's go to Delaney next. What was your favorite part of today?
I mean, there were so many. You really killed it right from the start too, Isabella, with the stamps. I've never been so excited about a stamp before. Like, that's awesome. So you guys are all getting letters. They'll be in the mail whenever those drop.
You're gonna use the stamps? No.
By way of London.
No, we'll get two. Two. One to send to you guys so you can save it forever. Yeah. And then a set for me, of course, to go right on my shelf. Also going on my shelf has to be the Fallen character. Are you kidding me? Like that classic conversion between robot and the Cybertronian spacecraft. It just looks unreal. And I know I think it was 17 steps for the transformation. That I would assume would be more, and the fact that it's lower, I think it makes it really cool. So yeah, it still is going to be super dynamic and a really awesome one. So that's probably
I'm pretty sure that's less than Deluxe Prime Universe RC. So you can go
Right.
leader scale way easier than the crazy engineering that's going on that RC. So that's pretty awesome. All right, Evan,
satisfaction.
favorite. What do we got?
I think we're all gonna be like stamps. But
It's because we're old
I actually
now.
just
It's fine.
yeah. I just got my trade of the Shattered Glass book in the other day, and it is a fantastic trade. So I'm happy to see that pop up here, and I can't wait for part 2. So that's super exciting. Favorite figure-wise, I mean, we're one figure away from completing Menasor, so that's super exciting. I don't know. I love every
Like
aspect
them
of
all.
this brand.
Just sad that
it's
there
like
was
how-
no Optimus in this wave.
I mean, we can take a break. We released 69 Optimus Primes last year or something
It's
like
fine.
that.
It's fine. All right, Mark, favorite thing from today?
It's really hard to just pick one or two. I love all Transformers, and everything that we showed today is fantastic. But real quick, here we go. Quick rundown. I mean, that Studio Series Hot Rod is pretty ridiculous. That Lambo is pretty hot. Going to Ironhide 86, I always wanted an Ironhide that was scale accurate and looked like the animation, so that one was just an easy win right there. Rumble, I noticed on that cassette mode, you ended up moving up the little dials just so you could fit the 5mm post for the weapons. That's a double thumbs up right there. That was a win. That was a big win in my book right there. Let's see what else. Some of the legacy stuff. I mean, Mr. Cranky here, Crankcase here, just to get this obscure bot, this TriggerCon bot in the line here. I mean, that's what's really fascinating.
The joy of Legacy, right? We get to do
Legacy.
these characters that never made sense elsewhere.
I mean, you got Armada just coasting by. You're like, oh, all right, they're touching upon those characters too. Just wait till you see where we go. So that's it for me.
All right, Sam. Last but not least, favorite thing.
I mean, apart from stamps and BMAX cryptic costume change, I have to say I'm going to be a little bit biased. I'm going Hot Rod on this one, and I'm calling it. This is my top figure for 2022. At least that I contribute.
Throwing out top figure of the year already.
Top all right, I'll put a top studio series figure.
Okay, that's fair.
As much as I love the the TF6 stuff and being able to completely manipulate what those alt modes were, for one that has to deliver a bot and a vehicle mode that is licensed, and it came from the era of movies where they were just like, I don't care what the car looks like. This is what the robot's gonna look like. This guy is amazing, and I am stoked for people to get a chance to handle him.
Yeah, I said it while we were revealing it. Armada Starscream, absolutely amazing. Love that figure. That photo we revealed at Comic-Con where that Dave posed him out, where he's just like walking in, is the most Starscream image of all time. Just the way he behaves. So that's my favorite by far. So that's what we got. 17 figures. 11 of them will be available for pre-order this afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern at Hasbro Pulse and everywhere you like to buy your toys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. We do come back and read these. We can't keep up with the chat by any means, why you guys are just going crazy while we're doing this. But we do mine that for information and see what you guys are saying. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Big 6-person event. First time we've ever had 6 people for Transformers on a fan stream. So yeah, I don't know if we're gonna figure out who's doing what, but yeah.
Just like pushing on the border of the screen.
Make yourself bigger. It'd be fun. I want more screen real estate. So thanks everybody. Again, like, subscribe, share. Check us out at 1 o'clock. Add these to your collection. Thanks. See you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Hey, before I run out of here, don't forget, join us for PulseCon. Transformers will be on Friday, September 30th currently. We are super excited to show you what we have going on for Legacy. We're going to reveal what's up with next year. I know I teased it a little. Again, maybe some colors going on here you want to pay attention to, but we will definitely do that. Mark's going to join me. Evan's going to join me. We got some really cool stuff, but we'll see you in September. Thanks.